Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Thursday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Antoine Woods is our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is sponsored by Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill Mitsubishi on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 in Chapmanville. Make this summer the summer for you and your family in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander or Outlander plug-in hybrid. See Thornhill for all the details. And we come to you from the Parmar Store Studio. Parmar again fueling the Adelphia Summer Concert Series, Marietta, Ohio. Only a 90-minute drive from downtown Charleston. Weekend one. It all starts tomorrow night featuring Jacob Dylan and the Wallflowers. And on Saturday, Struggle Jennings, Blacktop Mojo, Bubba Flex, Cowboy Killer, Truck Stop, and Sybil Silence. That's the lineup on Saturday. And then Uncle Cracker and Blanco Brown on Sunday. For tickets, visit theadelphia.com. And remember, there's not a Parmar store near you now. There will be soon. Phone calls to the show is service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly on Spring Street. And our texting services provided by Fruit Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Lots to get to this morning. Of course, your calls and texts are always welcome. Coming up a little bit later on the show, Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers is here. From the governor's latest financial issues to baby dog's picture up at the Sistine Chapel or wherever it is now. I mean, is it really out of the question at this point? We'll talk to Stephen about that a little bit later on, but I do want to welcome to the show West Virginia Secretary of State, Mac Warner. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, good morning, Dave. Great to be with you.
Thank you for being here. Now, we normally, if I have you on, talk about something related to the elections, but today I wanted to bring you in to talk about the business division of the office, which, as listeners have heard both you and I say over the years, the business office really is the biggest part of the Secretary of State's office, the most employees anyway. If you own a business in West Virginia, June is the month for companies and businesses' annual reports. First of all, what is an annual report and why do they have to be filed?
They need to be filed for transparency for the public's sake. That is one place that the legislature said we want you to be able to go to and know whether a business is in compliance in the state of West Virginia, and that is my office, the Secretary of State's office. And so, as you said, it is the largest part of my office. About half of our employees are employed with regards to the business and licensing division. And so what that report is it's a compilation of the main things you need to know if you want to deal with a company. So where it's located, mailing address, who the officers are, who is responsible for, say, service of process. Let's say there's a lawsuit that needs to take place, those sorts of things. And so the importance for the company is they want to be in compliance so that, let's say that they're ready to close a real estate deal or get a bank loan, that sort of thing. The opposing party is going to want to know, is this a legitimate business? Are they abiding by state law and so forth? And you don't want that red flag on your record of being out of compliance. And so once a year, by state code, each company has to register with or update their information. And it's so simple. We've made it so simple. To get online, you can do this in 5 minutes, a matter of a couple clicks on your computer. And by the way, about 98% of the companies do it online. And so we've made it very simple. And if you don't have any changes from the previous year, you simply click no changes. And it is that simple, $25, and you're done for the year.
And that number, as far as businesses that do it online, has gone up greatly since you took office, because when I was working there when I started in 2017, that number wasn't quite that high. It was still pretty good, but not that high, sir. No, it wasn't. We've really emphasized getting online, getting away from paper. We used to send out postcards to notify the companies that the annual report is due, and they can file that report anywhere between 1 January and June 30th. But now here we are in the last week. If somebody's waited to the last minute, this is the last minute. It's now time to do it. Today or tomorrow, let's get it done.
You have until Sunday at 11:59 at night. You can mail it in. Only 2% of the people still do it by paper. And that's a matter of downloading it, mailing it. It's like an absentee ballot. It has to be postmarked by June 30th. Right. Or here's the bad side. If you miss that June 30th deadline, if it rolls over to Monday of next week, then we have to assess a $50 late fee, and we don't want to have to do that. We keep track of about 150,000 businesses and charities. And the good thing is that's up significantly from when I took office. So the state is growing with regards to the number of businesses, nonprofits, charities, and so on. So those numbers are growing. And right now, we are about 9% better as far as the response rate this year than we were in the past. But there's still quite a few yet to do here in these last couple of days.
Because you're dealing with humans, not in your office. I mean, public, and that's what people have a tendency to do. They tend to kind of want to put things off. And I can tell you, because in addition to this, I also own a business and have for 10 years. And I started probably around Christmas time getting emails from the office. It's usually around that time, generally speaking, first of the year. You'll get an email that says a reminder, and you get one every so often. And I'm gonna be honest, because I'm a business owner. It's just me. You're looking at the business right here. I didn't do mine until about 2 or 3 weeks ago. But you just click on the link is actually in the email, and especially again, if you have no changes in your business, there's a box that says no changes, and you just kind of take from there. It could not be any simpler.
That's what we want to do, is make it as easy as possible. And I also want to emphasize to people, there's no need for a third party. There's no reason to bring in somebody else. A lot of times you'll get in the mail a letter and it looks very official, like it's government, and it's really not. If it doesn't say West Virginia Secretary of State, it's coming from a third party vendor. And what happens is these people will charge $100 to file your fee for you. It's been as much as $375 we've seen.
And I know this is a problem that's been going on for some time, and there's really not a whole lot that the state can do about it.
Yeah, I don't want to call it a scam, but it is taking advantage of people that are not
it's about as close as you can get.
I'll make the analogy. It's like paying somebody to fill up your gas tank. You're fully capable of going out there, opening up your gas tank and filling it up. Why pay somebody $100 to fill up your gas tank? You can do this yourself. Like you said, it's so simple to get online, wvsos.gov. Mm-hmm. And as you mentioned, we've actually sent out a series of 6 emails over the course of the time from 1st of January to remind people. Once you file, then we stop sending the emails. But in your case, if you waited until just a couple of weeks ago, you probably got 4 or 5 different emails from us reminding you to register or renew your business license. I'm not the most techie guy in the world, but I'll tell you, I did the entire thing in about maybe 2 minutes, if even that, and that was just me doing it. So it's not difficult at all, especially if there are no changes. You just click no changes and just keep going. Yeah. So if you're a business owner, or if you're working for a business and you can talk to the owner, remind them, have you done your annual renewal? If you haven't, today and tomorrow, that's the time to do it. And if people all wait until Sunday evening to do it, there's always that possibility of a systems crash or some other problem. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and do the renewal right now while we're talking about it, while you're thinking about it.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is presented in part by General Hardware of Winfield and Milton, General Lumber of Winfield. For all projects, big and small, shop locally, generalhardwarewv.com. We had a text to the show. Someone said, how does one close a business at the Secretary of State's office? Best thing I'll let you it's very simple to do that as well.
It's very simple. Call, let us know. Go to the one stop that we have, get online. Just let us know. It's a matter of letting us know that you're closing the business. See, if you don't do this renewal, then we put you in an inactive status, or not in inactive, non-compliant status for 3 years. And after that 3rd year, then we can drop you from that list. But we don't want to do that. We want to know affirmatively that you've decided to stop your business.
And another text that said, are out-of-state companies that do business in West Virginia required to file?
Yes, anybody doing business in the state of West Virginia.
And that's one of the things, too, you mentioned scams or things like that. When people come to your door and say, I want to trim your weeds, I want to do a roofing job or whatever. I don't want to say, let's don't go lawn care, because there are people that just mow people's grass. But let's say a bigger company. If you want to know if this business is in compliant, it's really simple. You got a database there.
The classic one, like you said, is a roofing or the repaving your driveway, those sort of things. And they want to take money up front to say, we're going to go get the spots. They take the money up front, then you never hear from them again. So what I suggest people do in those situations is take the name and address, that sort of thing, get online, get on the West Virginia Secretary of State's website and see whether that firm is in compliance, where they're located, know the officers, that sort of thing.
And how many businesses, again, are we talking about?
It's 149,740, but it's 150,000, basically, businesses we keep track of.
And those numbers are going up in West Virginia.
It's a good thing.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. You mentioned the Business One-Stop Office. Now, over the last year, 2 years, the office has moved. It was on Washington Street next to Tricky Fish. It's moved. Tell us where the new location is.
It's down there right where the Elk River flows into the canal. So right there on the boulevard, pulling on that entrance, there's a fitness center there, and we're on the second floor above the fitness center.
And there are still people that do like to come into the office, and not just the annual reports, but for other things too.
They do, and that's where we have a number of people there, a number of employees. We've got the tax office there with us as well. That's why we call it the One Stop. Is you can go in and take care of your business registration, get questions answered. There's a kiosk there with regards to the Small Business Administration. So if you want that in-person experience, that's what we suggest you do.
What else you got going on in the office these days?
We've got a lot of things going on, some new personnel. We're working with the clerks. Just was at the clerks conference yesterday in Morgantown. So that's an ongoing thing with regards to election training, seeing what happened with the primary, getting ready for the general office or the general election. There's always that clerk training, poll worker training, getting poll workers, that sort of thing. We're actually taking on some pretty decent things. We have an amicus brief right now to the U.S. Supreme Court. We have a new general counsel, Dave Cook, is doing a wonderful job, wrote a wonderful brief for the U.S. Supreme Court. 8 other states have joined in with us, and what that is pushing back against the Biden administration, trying to federalize the elections, trying to take over, making all federal agencies, about 600 federal agencies, as voter registration centers. And our position is this is a state responsibility. That's what the U.S. Constitution says. So we're pushing back in that regard. In the arena with Facebook, Google, Twitter, the social media, we're trying to make them fair in the elections. We don't want to have them weighing in on one side versus the other. So we're taking on some subpoenas and getting documents from them to make sure that they are complying with state finance laws. So there's some behind-the-scene things that are going on, but pretty significant. It's once again showing where West Virginia is a leader nationwide in this election integrity and security arena. And then I'm also getting ready for the National Association of Secretaries of State meeting that's coming up this next month. And we've been asked to talk about our Businesses Against Trafficking program that we initiated here last year. Very successful program. If you've been out on the interstate and stopped at a rest stop, you may have seen some of the posters. We're trying to reduce human trafficking. And you may not think it occurs here in West Virginia, but I can cite several cases where we have had trafficking take place here in West Virginia, and we want to make people aware of it and what to do if you recognize a situation that doesn't feel right to you, how you report it.
West Virginia Secretary of State Mac Warner, it's always a pleasure. Again, if you're a business owner, get those reports in. They are required by state code, and they have to be in by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday night.
This Sunday.
All right.
Get online, wvsos.gov.
All right. Mac, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. We'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Gabe.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. With more than $20 billion recovered, they believe when you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
Make this summer the summer in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander or Outlander plug-in hybrid. With its premium interior, 2 years limited maintenance included, and an industry-leading warranty. Drive home today starting at $28,395. The moment is now at Thornhill Mitsubishi. Super All-Wheel Control is an available feature on all trim levels. Manufacturer suggested retail price. Excludes destination handling, tax, title, license, dealer charges, and options. All supplies last. Limited availability of participating dealers may require placing an order and cause of delay in delivery. Retailer price, terms, and vehicle availability may vary. See your local Mitsubishi retailer for details.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
10.
Nice work.
Thanks. Taking Nugenix Total T makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas, right?
Yes.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yes. Nugenix is a great way to feel stronger with more energy and endurance. And as Frank says, you'll like it too.
Text radio to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix. Text RADIO to 321-321. That's radio to 321-321.
Do you have unfiled tax returns or being threatened by the IRS that your wages are about to be garnished or bank accounts are going to be levied? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has professionals ready to fight for you. Their enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs have saved millions of dollars for taxpayers just like you. They won't just resolve your tax problems. They'll most importantly protect your wages, bank accounts, and all your assets from being taken by the IRS. Call for a free consultation. 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174 or go to alliestaxrelief.com.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live.
If you're worried about kids somehow being molested by drag queens, you may want to keep them away from Grandpa or Uncle Bill or out of church or off sports teams, because statistically speaking, your kid is much more likely to be harmed in a sexual way by a family member or by a member of a church or a coach than they are a drag queen.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. Weekday mornings at 9 on the voice of Charleston, 580 WCHS.
Okay, we're back. No bumper music. All right. Welcome. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Hudson's Pizza. This month at your favorite Hudson's, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and any whole 10-inch sub, only $23.99 at your favorite Hudson's location. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. I want to pass this note along to you from the fine folks at the CAMC Foundation. Had them on earlier this week, and they asked me to remind you about their annual summer event, the CAMC Foundation Summer Luau at the Clay Center. Outdoors, Saturday night, starting at 7. Now, if it does rain, they've made arrangements to move it indoors to Clay Center. But it starts at 7. Tickets are available at let me try that again. CAMCfoundation.org or by calling 304-388-9860. Again, it's CAMCfoundation.org, or you can call 304-388-9860. Tickets available until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. None will be available at the door, so you must get them in advance. It's going to be a great time for a great cause. The CAMC Foundation. Get those tickets today or tomorrow. Hoppy Kircher will come up with Talkline at 10:06 from the Encove Insurance Studios in the Dale Miller Building in Morgantown. First presidential debate between President Biden and former President Trump is tonight. John Decker of Gray Television on with Hoppy with a preview of that. Plus this story. A South Charleston man accused of selling pills he told everyone was oxycodone when in fact it was fentanyl. Citizen of the Year right there. U.S. Attorney Will Thompson will be on to discuss that, plus Brad McElhenney and more. Talkline 10:06 from the Encove Insurance Studios in the Dale Miller Building in Morgantown. Stephen Allen Adams from Ogden Newspapers is here. Stephen, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here. Let's. But are you feeling a little bit better? I saw where you're feeling a little under the weather. You doing okay?
I feel just fine. I sometimes have that occasionally. So took a little day, worked from home, still monitored everything, including the governor's briefing yesterday. So it was still a work day for me. I just got to do it on the back porch with a dog. So
well, there's worse things, I guess. Let's start with the governor and his latest financial news. And there's a bunch of it that just came out over the last couple of days.
Well, yeah. I mean, which thing do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with the announcement with Carter Banks yesterday.
Yeah, that's a big one because that was $300 million that the governor had personally guaranteed in loans from Carter Bank. He had a long-standing relationship with this bank, which is Virginia-based. He knew the owner, but when the owner died, the board of directors of that bank wanted to start collecting on the money that it was owed to them, because that's a lot of money for a small regional bank. So they've been having a back and forth with Justice's companies for a number of years trying to collect. They settled something, I think, around this time last year, but it came, or 2 years ago. But for last year, they started to try to collect again. They weren't getting the money they thought they were due. They went back and forth in court, federal court. At one point, they were even trying to get some of the governor's properties and sell them, such as the Greenbrier Sporting Club. The Greenbrier might have even been in their sites as well. But apparently yesterday, what they called a global settlement was announced between Carter Bank and Justice's companies. We don't know the specifics because they're behind a confidentiality agreement, but apparently it will allow the Justice's companies to continue paying on those loans without having Carter Bank try to collect on all of them. So it makes both sides happy. So all the federal and county lawsuits are being dropped, and now they're back to being friends again.
So this is just one, though, how many times have we said governor and financial problems in the last 6, 7, 8 years he's been in office, and quite frankly, even before that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the biggest one out there is the one he currently owns, the Greensill Bank, Credit Suisse. That's over $800 million that he owes. Now, of course, Justice doesn't run his day-to-day operations because he's governor. Right. His children do, his adult children. But as governor, he has guaranteed these loans, which is why, and he doesn't have any of these companies, for the most part, under blind trusts, which would kind of shield him to some extent, where I don't even know we'd ask him about any of this stuff if it was in a blind trust, because he wouldn't really have any direct involvement with it. But in this case, he does have some direct involvement and skin in the game. So it's going to keep coming up. And to some extent, this plays in the governor's ability to manage his businesses over his lifetime. To some extent, this is pressure from some of these companies that I think they can bring this pressure to bear on the governor, considering that he's running for Senate and probably doesn't want these headlines out there. So the quicker he can find some settlement with this stuff, which is what he just did with Carter Bank, quicker he can get that stuff out of the headlines and not have it be, smacked with, in the head with by your opponent, in this case, Wheeling Mayor Glenn Elliott.
Talking to Stephen Allen Adams of Ogden Newspapers, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Live Healthy West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, RSV, and more. It's a podcast, offers insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. It's a valuable resource for all. Discover the latest episodes on WVMetronews.com under the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. All right, so your take on the whole baby dog art controversy.
Oh man. It's interesting. I will tell you, I don't think it's about the dog so much.
Because everybody loves baby dog.
Everyone does love baby dog.
But there's some issues here, not with baby dog, okay? Just with any dog that would be in that picture, right? And the way it was done,
I think
in your opinion.
I think it's a process problem. I really think it's a process problem. You can, from a historical standpoint, English Bulldogs came to the Americas, according to the American Kennel Club, around the late 1880s. So it's plausible that English Bulldogs were in West Virginia in the late 19th century, early 20th century. So, I mean, you could pick any dog. I mean, you can make the argument, what type of dog did most West Virginians probably have around that time? It's probably a traditional, West Virginia brown dog.
That's what I said yesterday. Yeah.
Okay? You can argue about this historical part of that.
You mean a coon dog.
But I think the problem is the process. I mean, Randall Reed Smith, the Cabinet Secretary of the Department of Arts, Culture, and History, has been working on this project since 2010. The Capitol Building Commission, which is by law required to sign off on any changes inside, outside, on the Capitol grounds, they voted in 2010 to allow for the selection of an artist to begin coming up with concepts. Well, they ran out of the money in 2010, so they didn't keep trying to do it. But Randall Reed Smith has kind of used that vote in 2010 as a blank check to go ahead and move forward with it now and never bring it back before the Capitol Building Commission. Ever since he started doing this again in 2021, going with John Canning and company to come up with the artist concept and do the construction and the creation of this has never come back before the Capitol Building Commission. And then, of course, in April, we have the artist renderings released to the public. Well, there's no baby dog in that one with Seneca Rocks. There's no animals at all. A small private committee made up of 2 governor office representatives, 2 cabinet secretaries, and the state museum director decided to come up with this concept of making some minor changes, including adding a wildlife, which is fine. But they decided to add baby dog without apparently consulting anybody on it, including even the governor, because the governor says he was surprised by it and didn't realize that baby dog was.
Do you believe him when he says he was surprised by it?
I do. I actually really.
Because I do as well.
I believe it, but the problem is your office was directly involved with it. Now, you may not have known about it, but I think that's even problematic, that you didn't know about it and that they did this sort of as a, surprise, to make the dear leader happy. And I think the process is problematic. Forget about the dog. It's a process problem.
I think some people, I'll say it's probably 50-50 what I'm getting, because, again, I listen to Hoppy. He's talked about this ad nauseum. I've gotten texts to the show, and it tends to be a thing where people say, Well, I mean, with all the problems going on in the world, why are you concerned whether there's a picture of a dog? Well, again, it's a procedural issue. And I can tell you, as somebody who, as I've said many times before, worked in state government, you worked in state government, you don't move a desk from one end of the office to the other that you do not have permission from the powers that be at the Capitol. I mean, seriously, people think, and I guess that's a good thing.
You can't cut down a tree on the grounds.
No, you can't do anything on the grounds. And literally, if you want to redesign your office, if you want to say, and I'll use the Secretary of State's office, for example, because I worked there, you worked there. If you want to say, okay, we want to move elections from here to here, and we want to move the finance office over here, you have to have permission. Pretty much, to take pictures down, to move pictures of that secretary over. You got to have permission to do this. And I guess what Randall Reed Smith was doing, from what you're telling me, you followed this a lot more closely than I have. What he was basing this on a vote from 2010, and so that's where I think the thing. Is anything going to come of this, or is it just going to? Because Hoppy tends to think it's just going to kind of go away in a day or so. What do you think?
Hoppy is absolutely right on it. I think it's going to go away. I think when people say, aren't there more important things? Well, of course there are. We're having a child welfare crisis in this state right now. There's a number of things that are more important than this. What this is a symptom of problems that I think we have seen throughout. And I think Governor Justice, on the whole, has been a good governor, but there are a number of issues we've seen with the administration, with certain departments. You know, we've always been dealing with the Department of Human Services and the issues there with CPS. We were just dealing with, a big crisis and vacancies in prisons. I mean, we can point to a number of issues over the years where this is just another symptom of kind of how things run. And no, I don't think anything's going to come of it. I don't think Randall Reed Smith's going to lose his job. In fact, the way he's been treating media, including me, over the last few weeks on this and the other stories, he seems pretty comfortable. So I don't think anything's going to change of it. But I do think it is important to point out, especially considering the fact that they unveiled this last Thursday, West Virginia Day. There was no mention of this of baby dog being included. So why would you not even mention that? Right. Why not even own it? Because it's there. Obviously, it was noticed within 24 hours of it going up. Other people had noticed it during the construction phase. Why not own it? Obviously, you all thought this might be problematic, which is why you didn't talk about it last week.
And the governor has said, and rightfully so, that baby dog has brought a lot of joy and a lot of happiness to people. I mean, I'm a pet person. I know you have a dog. Hoppy is a pet owner. We're not anti-pet. We're just asking some questions.
That's it. And it's important for us to do that. And it's also important for our cabinet officials and government officials to kind of welcome that to some extent, not to be hostile to it. Sure, of course, why would we not ask questions about that? Because it's it's out there.
Did the governor really say, I was busy, didn't see the most recent briefing. Did I read something that he said something to the effect of that the English ruled the land, and did he say something like that?
He said something like that, but only just talking. The way I took it was he was even surprised. He took it as surprised that they would include an English bulldog on there because of that.
Okay, I didn't know in what context. I didn't know what context it was. Stephen, I want to talk about a big event tonight in Huntington. There is a big fundraiser for Huntington Mayor and candidate for Governor Steve Williams being held in the Hotel Frederick lobby. Mm-hmm. The main names on the card, if I can harken back to my wrestling days, Senator Joe Manchin, now independent Joe Manchin, former Governor Bob Wise. Mm-hmm. As far as Bob Wise goes, that's a name you probably haven't heard in a while. But to Senator Manchin, and you were the one that I first saw, you broke this story a week or so ago on X. To Senator Manchin, does this settle it once and for all? He's not running?
Probably not in the minds of some that probably still want him to, but I really kind of think it puts it to bed. I guess we'll see how much they raise. Of course, we're running up against campaign finance deadlines right now for the quarter. So it's one of the big reasons I think they're wanting to push this, and they're pushing it so hard because I think they need to raise a substantial amount of money in this thing to really show other potential donors down the road that Steve Williams is viable, which is why I think they're pulling out the last two Democratic governors, Manchin and Wise, to be able to do this.
What about Earl Ray?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Earl Ray doesn't live in West Virginia anymore. But I don't think Wise doesn't live in West Virginia.
Not?
No, Earl Ray pretty much is residing on the beach somewhere right now.
Oh, good for him.
Because I've talked to I've known Earl Ray literally my whole life, and I've tried to get him to come on the show a couple of times. And he's, I think, been unhappy, but he's perfectly happy with where he is.
I'm
right now.
going to give Earl Ray Tomlin the pass because I've tried to reach out through third parties to do an interview with him. Just like what are your thoughts about the political landscape right now? And he doesn't want to have any involvement with them, and I don't blame him.
He's done.
But having Wise and Manchin front this, I think, is important. And I do think if Manchin's doing this, he's now finally showing some action to show, look, I'm supporting my friend Steve Williams. I am not getting back in this race.
And there are several other notable names on the bill, including a few mayors, State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin, of course, some legislators, some heavy hitters from the world of business. And as I told Pushkin, Stephen, when he was on the show last week, if Steve Williams can't raise money with this crowd, he's just not really trying.
That's it. That's why I think this particular fundraiser is extremely important for him. So I think how much money he comes out of this and how much money he raises during this quarter, which we'll find out here in about a week and a half or so. I think it's important because there's got to be something to spark interest of other people, and it's going to be expensive. It may not be as expensive as the Republican primary, but we all know Morrissey's got money he can put into this.
Speaking of which, not to be outdone, there's a big fundraiser for Patrick Morrissey, current Attorney General, candidate for governor. He's going to be in my neighborhood, Sleepy Hollow Country Club over in Taze Valley on July 2nd, which is next Tuesday. Senators Eric Tarr and Glenn Jeffries, and again, a lot of big-time players from the world of business. The checkbooks are going to be coming out that night, sir.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, Morrissey's not going to take anything for granted. He's a hard-charging guy. We already saw that during the primary. He's going to raise as much money as he can. He's going to spend as much money as he can to ensure that he can wind up with the victory in November. So I don't think there's any doubt about that. I think I don't make predictions, but I do think that he's going into this looking pretty good right now. And again, that's why Williams has to get some money into his bank account.
So what are you watching today?
I am actually working on a retrospective of federal flood mitigation funding. Of course, we just came past the 8th year anniversary of the 2016 floods. And we all remember 2018, 2019, some of the issues with the Rise West Virginia program and some of the slow spending that was going on. And we know that there's been efforts to try to do flood mitigation. We have a joint flood mitigation committee in the legislature. There had been funding talked about. There's been a lot of talk about flood mitigation. But I don't feel like there's been as much action, particularly on funding actual projects to do it. So I'm going back through and seeing what we've spent from the federal government on this and where we're at right now with flood mitigation, because it's so important. Whether you believe in climate change or not, there's no doubt that we are experiencing more and more flooding events in the state. And we're not the only mountain in the state that deals with flooding, but there are other states that handle flood mitigation certainly better than what we do. And we have more money right now to deal with it than we've ever had before, but it just seems like there's no real big projects that we're hearing about. So I'm kind of looking to see where we stand on that right now.
And remind people where people can check out your stuff.
Sure. Parkersburg News and Sentinel, Wheeling Intelligencer and News Register, Weirton Daily Times, the Intermountain and Elkins, and the Journal in Martinsburg. And you can follow me at Stephen Adams WV on X.
I would highly encourage you to do that if you want to keep up with what's going on in the world of politics. And we got some good people out there. I mean, I'm going to give a big shout out to our own Brad McElhenney.
Great reporters right now.
Brad and Amelia Nicely. There's some good reporting going on in the state of West Virginia right now.
We really do. And we all kind of informally work together.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, you have to. Stephen Allen Adams, I appreciate you being here as always, man. Thanks a lot. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley. If you're interested in improving your company's IT workforce, did you know Bridge Valley offers custom-tailored IT training to bridge the skills gap? At Bridge Valley, train for little or no cost with a 50-50 salary match. They can also supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu/apprenticeships today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
According to USA Today, 1 in 7 children in West Virginia face food insecurity issues. Hi, I'm Jason Quintrell, President and CEO of Union Mission Ministries. There are some obstacles our children face with access to food despite many feeding programs available. That is why Union Mission has partnered with some local middle schools to place food directly into the hands of children who need it. Help us remove those obstacles and help feed our kids. Visit unionmission.com to learn more.
Summer is here, and if you're looking to replace that old worn-out car with a reliable and stylish ride without breaking the bank, then you need to get over to Walker Chevrolet in Nitro. Walker Chevrolet is stocked right now with inventory, both new and used, and they have the car, truck, or SUV that you've been looking for. And you know that you're going to get the best deal possible at Walker because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games here, just honest, fair deals. And if you have a car that you want to get rid of, don't forget, Walker Chevrolet is still buying cars too. Yeah, that's right. All makes and models are welcome at Walker, and they're going to give you top dollar for it, even if you plan to buy somewhere else. This summer, the car and the deal that you've been waiting for is waiting for you right now at Walker Chevrolet in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends one deal at a time.
If you use tobacco, chances are you've thought about quitting. And all of us at the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network think that is truly awesome. Quitting is tough. It requires commitment and support. But first, it requires thinking of quitting. You've taken the first step on your own. The West Virginia Tobacco Quit Line can help you take the next one. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW or visit wvtobaccoquitline.com for practical tips to give up tobacco for good. Quitting is tough, but West Virginians are tougher. You've got this.
17 minutes away from 10. Antoine Woods is our producer today. Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. West Virginia Enriched in collaboration with Huntington invite you to witness the transformative power of Special Olympics. Take a few moments to be inspired and to join the collective effort to make it a difference. Not just a story, it's a movement of hope, inclusivity, and triumph, reminding us all that every individual deserves a chance to shine. In West Virginia and beyond, Huntington truly making a difference right here at home. See a video highlighting the Special Olympics at facebook.com/580 WCHS. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Fresh Air. They can change your heating and cooling unit air filters for your home, retail, industrial business, restaurant, or church, and they can custom build filters for you. 24-hour emergency service available. Visit freshairfilters.us or call 304-440-1104 for Fresh Air, because everyone deserves fresh air. I told you yesterday about some way that the folks at McDonald's are trying to save people money this summer. They have got something called a $5 meal deal. That includes your choice of a McDouble or McChicken sandwich, 4-piece nuggets, small fry, and a small drink for only $5. It's part of their summer of value. And here's what I'd like to do, because I'm in a good mood today, all right? I'm always in a good, pretty much always in a good mood. I have got a $25 McDonald's gift card up for grabs, and I will give it to caller 3 right now. 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858. If you are caller number 3 right now, my man Antoine Woods is standing by to take your call right now. Just need your name and where you are from. Caller 3, 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858. Caller number 3 right now, I'm going to hook you up with a $25 McDonald's gift card. How cool is that? All right. I got a bunch of texts to get to. Text says, because McCoy, this texter loves to refer to Mac by his real name for some reason. I don't know why. Because McCoy keeps lying about the Constitution prohibiting the federalization of state elections, read Article 1, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution on air, especially the part about Congress changing the rules. The times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature thereof, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations except as the places of choosing senators, says a texter. Now, I am not a constitutional attorney, so I have to do a little bit of a deep dive on that. Text says, Dave, elections should be the same in every state. Stop disenfranchising people's right to vote, says a texter. Text says, too bad Mac let the pink chips lead him down the CIA Trump election loss conspiracy hole. I can't take anything that guy says seriously, even if it is serious, says a texter. Text says, the baby dog portrait is a symptom of our elected clowns and their circus. This texter is not surprised. Text says, is baby dog sitting on a silver platter showing her hind end? Why isn't Jesco on the mural? Pop culture political BS. And I have seen, since this whole baby dog story broke, I have seen so many things on social media where people, in an attempt to be funny, and it is funny. Trust me, it is. I've seen so many people that have said other things that should have been, included as part of a mural. I mean, I've seen everything from moon pies to obviously Tudor's biscuits. I've seen Gino stuff. I have seen, as I said, Jesco. I've seen 2 or 3 different things about Jesco White. I have seen potholes and things. I think it would have been really, really cool had you on the mural had like a covered wagon or something like that was, jackknifed or turned over because of a pothole. That's what I think would have been cool. By the way, I want to say congratulations to Mark Lively of Charleston. Mark was the winner of our $25 McDonald's gift card. So congratulations to Mark. And we'll have that here for you at the studios, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. Mark Lively of Charleston was the winner of our gift card. So congratulations to him. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is presented in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. The Birds wrapping up a 3-game homestand against Lexington tonight at Gomart Ballpark. It is Thirsty Thursday, $1 beers and water, and bring your dogs out for Bark in the Park tonight. Tickets, promotions, merchandise, and more. Visit dirtybirdsbaseball.com. Coming up on tomorrow's show, it's Friday, speaking of dogs, so that means, we're going to get a visit from Hannah Gardner from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association with this week's Adopt Me Please Pet of the Week. Jim Strawn will be here to talk live on the levee. Tomorrow night, my man, my boy, Steve Animal from 987 The Mountain, Wild, Wonderful, Classic Rock, will be live at Live on the Levee tomorrow night, so hide the women and children in the beer. And I'll see if we can get Animal to stop by tomorrow as well. Also, Kent Wilson from Bridge Valley is going to stop by for a visit tomorrow, too. Text says, I agree with the governor on one point. The English did rule this land before we became a country. Well, that's a historical fact, as they say. Text says, Dave, what's wrong with folks in West Virginia? The baby dog story made it here in Florida, and no doubt there's more important things to worry about. Again, I don't disagree with what the texter is saying. What people are concerned about, as people in the media have questioned and others, have been the whole procedure for the thing, not that it's baby dog. And there have been some allegations, not by me, but others, allegations that maybe things weren't exactly done above board on this. So, Stephen, I'll leave that to the Stephen Allen Adams and Brad McElhaney's and the others of the world. They can get into that. But I think that's what it's not about baby dog. It's not. And if you pick up your copy of the Gazette Mail this morning, I think there's 2 editorials about this on the page. It's just about the way it was done, and that you are choosing a particular political candidate, in this case the governor, to go down in history for Lord knows how long, that his personal pet was on there as opposed to just generic animal. I think, as I said, West Virginia brown dog. That's the way you got to go with this, in my opinion. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their lead paint inspection and risk assessment services are designed to identify and assess the presence of let's try that again, Antoine. Lead-based paint in buildings and other structures using a 3-phase approach: inspection, sampling, lab analysis, and assessment report. Visit pinnaclecorp.net, because what you don't know can hurt you. Text says, Dave, we've heard enough about baby dog. Please have more discussion on a lack of road and bridge maintenance, the incompetent DHHR, CPS, school system, etc. I agree. But again, as Hoppy said on the show, our job as talk show hosts is to talk about what people are talking about. And this is what a lot of people are talking about. Again, 2, 3, 4 things can all be true and can be right at the same time. Texter says, you don't know this, but they also painted Toby and Edith into the mural. They're there if you look closely. Reference to the governor's famed fictional characters. Text says the historical angle of Baby Dog doesn't work either. Baby Dog is an accessory dog, selectively bred for its traits that make the dog an accessory, not a working dog like its ancestors. That's why I said it should have been a mutt dog, because mutt dogs are the best dogs, in my opinion, or pets. Not big on breeds, but that's just me. Next week, you're going to be hearing a new sponsor starting on the show, and that's my main guy, Tony Peranzino, down at Tony the Tailor on Virginia Street. Today, Tony's having his famous summer sidewalk sale. You can save up to 90% off. That's right, 90% off today at Tony the Tailor. Check him out on Facebook or visit the website, bestmastertailor.com, bestmastertailor.com. Tony the Tailor, West Virginia's finest men's store. And again, you're going to be hearing a little bit more from Tony coming up on the show next week. We're going to take a break. We're back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
Hey, it's Dave Allen for Parmar Stores. And now that the warm weather months are here, you know where you need to be, your local Parmar store. Heading to the lake, the ball field, or your favorite picnic site, or just working around your place, Parmar has everything you'll need, from gas to grocery, snacks, and much, much more. Download the Parmar app and sign up for the Parmar Rewards Card. Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Virginia. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Welcome to Poca Valley, where we've been in business since 1908. Today, we serve Roane, Kanawha, Putnam, and surrounding counties. We believe you deserve banking that provides friendly customer service. For all of your financial needs, stop by one of our 8 convenient locations. Call us at 844-782-2651 or visit us online at PocaValleyBank.com. Poca Valley, where relationships matter.
Member FDIC.
Are you changing jobs or gearing up for retirement? Don't navigate your financial journey alone. At 4th Avenue Financial, we specialize in guiding individuals through life's transitions. From optimizing your retirement savings to managing your investments, we're here to provide expert advice every step of the way. Schedule your free consultation with John Burdett and take control of your financial future today. 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Looking to buy or sell U.S. coins or currency, or need an appraisal on a coin collection? The Coin Man in St. Albans has been established since 2009, and he's the area's expert in currency. Whether you're buying or selling coins and coin accessories, he's got you covered. But that's not all. He also deals in select antiques and glassware. Visit the Coin Man today at 2412 Kanawha Terrace in St. Albans and discover treasures that transcend time. The Coin Man, where every coin tells a story.
We got 5 away from 10. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. Could you use 500 gallons of free gasoline? Well, the stations of WVRC Media Charleston, Parmar Stores back with a great gas giveaway. Someone is going to win 500 gallons free gasoline. You can register at any Kanawha County Parmar location or at A to Z Outlet of St. Albans, Trojan Landing Marine of Charleston, Pearson Legal Services in Kanawha City, Milton Flea Market, Quantum Sports in Hurricane in Charleston, Halfway Market in Milton, Pew Furniture of Charleston, East Coast Teas of Nitro, Shuckers in St. Albans, and Tractor Pros also in St. Albans. We're going to draw the winner July 27th at a special event at A to Z Outlet in St. Albans starting at 10 in the morning. The great gas giveaway presented by WVRC Media Charleston and Parmar Stores. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. I want to talk a little shop here as we close the show this morning. And let me just kind of hear me out on this, all right? Let me just say this. I love my texters to the show. I do. I don't know who they are. I see a phone number. If they make a threat to me, I could call the police, but they don't. I've got great listeners and great texters, 99.999%. And I love my texters. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to have to come up with some kind of a contest or something to ramp up more calls to this show. I mean, I'm an old school radio guy. I've been doing this for 36 years. Only been really full time in the talk show realm though for about 4 years. And I'm going to just say I miss not having as many callers. And I don't think it's anything that I'm doing wrong. Well, it could be. You may disagree. And I know you're out there. The ratings show that you're definitely listening. The revenue that the show brings in shows that you're there, and by the amount of text. I mean, I normally cannot get to all the texts we have the show in one day, and I do appreciate that very much. And I am extremely grateful for that. But in the words of Rick Springfield, Captain 80s here, as I am, it's good to have a little human touch every now and then. So don't be afraid to call the show from time to time. Call-in numbers are still the same. 304-345-5858, 304-345-5858. I understand the text thing, and I'm so thankful for the text. Love the text. But sometimes you just like to have some calls too. So those of you that can, I know many people that text may be working or doing other things and they can't call. But I do, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. If you've learned anything in listening to this show in the past 4 years, it's that I'm an equal opportunity offender. Liberals say I'm too conservative. Conservatives say I'm too liberal. And I give a voice to everyone on this show. I have people say all the time, why do you have this person on? Some of my more, shall we say, not controversial. That's not the word I'm looking for. The ones that elicit the most calls and text, a Mike Pushkin, a Greg Thomas, the people like that on both sides of the aisle. I appreciate all my texters, and I definitely appreciate all my listeners. But going forward, let's ramp up some calls. Let's try to get back to that as we can. I want to close with this. As I mentioned earlier in the show, tonight is the first presidential debate. Hoppy's going to preview it next hour. What are you looking at as far as the debate goes? I want to get a little programming note here. Side note, WCHS will have coverage of the debate starting at, I think, 8 o'clock tonight via the ABC radio network. So if you can't tune in, we will have complete coverage. Reds baseball will instead be heard on Charleston's ESPN radio. What am I expecting from the debate tonight? Well, one thing, it's 9 o'clock, so Papa is going to have a hard time staying up, I can tell you that. What I'm expecting is Biden will be confused, not know where he is, and Trump will be rude, crude, crass, and offensive. And Hoppy has a poll up right now on X asking you if you think the debates will have any impact on the election. I can tell you now, the answer is no. People have long ago made up their mind who they're voting for between Biden and Trump. And, well, for a lot of us out there, the answer may be none of the above. But we'll be watching the debates tonight. My thanks to Secretary of State Mac Warner for being here, and also to Stephen Allen Adams. Download the all-new Metro News TV app if you haven't already. Metro News TV app. Get it. My producer was Antoine Woods. Antoine, thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow morning for a Friday edition of the show. Till tomorrow, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.